Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Nightmare Frames. We're outside the headquarters of the cult, which the people who used to be in a different cult with the guy we're looking for set up. But yeah, we're going to have a start by having a look around, shall we? You have never understood the meaning of the symbol of the Church of Mother Earth. According to its founders, it represents the human personification of Mother Earth reaching out to embrace humanity. You have to use your imagination. You only see a Y. No matter how hard you try, you still see a Y. Here we go. Oh my god. Chris Hartman believes that the Church of Mother Earth is a nest of con artists, and that its founders should have landed behind bars a long time ago. This does not detract from the fact that as long as he is paid every month, he performs his work responsibly and professionally, unfortunately for us, I expect. What have we got in our inventory? Nothing that really looks like it might persuade him.
Is there anything you require, sir? Yeah, I'd like to talk to Joseph DeSimone or Brian Kinnaman. I'm afraid that's not possible, sir. Why isn't that possible? To begin with, you are not a member of the church, and in order to talk to them, there's a hierarchy you need to follow. You should talk to a lower-ranking member for starters. May I speak with a lower-ranking member? Sorry, sir. You must be a member of the church for that. What are the requisites to become a member of the church? I don't know, sir. I only take care of the front gate. What do I have to do to talk to DeSimone or Kinnaman? Being a member of the church and being sponsored by a low-ranking member, as I already told you. Alright. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
So I was wondering about this before we arrived here. Obviously there's the guy at the producer's office. Ruskin Productions, who's a member of the cult, but I was wondering why we didn't kind of need him to go there, but I think we do. So we're going to go and talk to him now, and maybe get an invite into the compound.
Alan, my favorite screenwriter, how can I help? I would like to talk with the founders of your church. With Joseph and Brian? Alan, that's impossible. There's a pretty strict protocol for that. Do you have any contact with them? Of course, I'm level 9. Is there any way I can get an interview with DeSimone and Kinnaman? For starters, you should belong to the church. Done.
What? Are you serious?
Totally.
About time, Alan. The church needs people like you. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
First, I would like to have an interview with them.
I've already told you it's impossible. Only level 9.
I thought you had enough influence in the church to arrange a meeting with them.
You know what? It's done. I only have to make a phone call. Hey, Pam, can I make a call? You're not going to call that cult from the company phone. What cult? I'll call from the car. I have a phone in there. Do you want one, Alan?
A car?
What? No, a phone in your car.
I don't have a car.
You will. I have to stop somewhere else first. I'll call on the way. See you in front of the headquarters in, about half an hour.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Alan, you've just made the best decision of your life. There we go. Did you hit your head or something?
What?
Are you really going to join that pack of morons?
Me? Not in a million years. I just want to, never mind. But don't worry, I'm not joining the Church of Mother Earth.
Hey, do whatever you want, it's none of my business. I appreciate you getting rid of that bore. Okay. Let's go head there now, I guess. Doop-a-dip-doo.
Alan!
I thought you were going to ditch me, but here you are. Well, shall we go in?
Of course.
Not everyone has the privilege of meeting Joseph and Brian in person. Consider yourself lucky. Come on. Good afternoon, Chris. How's the family?
Very good, Mr. Crosby. Thank you for your interest.
Meet my friend, Alan Goldberg, soon-to-be church member.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Goldberg.
We have an appointment with the Founding Fathers, if you'll allow us.
By all means, go ahead.
Ooh. James, nice to see you again.
Belinda.
I went to the movies yesterday to see your latest film. Yeah? Did you like it? Outstanding. A great performance. Thank you. And this must be Alan Goldberg, right? Yeah. Alan, this is Belinda Morgan, our public relations officer.
My pleasure.
That's one of our founders, Brian Kinnaman.
Pleased to meet you.
I'm honored that you want to join this great family, Alan. And finally, our dear guide, Joseph DeSimone.
James, our most international ambassador.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
You know what, Alan? Your promotional tour... Oh, you know what, Alan? Yes, your promotional tours do more for the church than 100 PR people. No offense, Belinda.
You always say that.
It's the truth. Okay, dear James. Let me get to know our future member better.
Of course.
Come closer, son. What do you know about our church?
You spend your time talking to the Earth?
Oh, well, rather it is Mother Earth who speaks through me. The conversation is one-sided, and I cannot communicate with her. The church is nothing but a conduit for our dear mother's wishes. She has remained silent throughout all human history until 25 years ago when she decided she had had enough. We try as humbly as possible to follow her teachings, and in the process to progress as a species in order to be more respectful of her. The only purpose of our life is to relieve her cries of pain. According to James, you were skeptical of our doctrine. Tell me, son, what made you change your mind?
I'm sick of the life I lead.
Well, most of us thought that way before we came in contact with Mother. Do you want to talk about your future in the church?
More like your past.
What?
I need information about Edward Keller.
I don't know that name. Is he a member of our church?
Not this one. He belonged to the House of the Black Light.
Who is this man, James? Are you a fucking journalist?
Edward Keller. You met him in the late 60s in a satanic cult in...
Blasphemy! Everyone knows where Joseph was in the late 1960s. He was working in his Iowa farm when he received the first revelation from Mother Earth.
Yeah, he was in a farm, but not in Iowa. It was in Simi Valley.
How dare you imply that Joseph was a Satanist?
All right, let's calm down. Let's not get nervous. I just want to know where I can find Edward Keller. Then I'll leave, and you can keep talking to the Earth or any other planet you want.
James, get this man out of here! Get him away from my sight! I never in my life want to see him again!
Alan, you have to go.
Help me calm things down a bit here, James. I don't know what the hell I said to make this man freak out like that.
Let's get out of here.
Do I need to call security?
Let's go. Oh, I'm sorry, Joseph. I had no idea about this.
Demote James to level 6. That way he will think twice before bringing this sort of blasphemy into this holy church again.
What the hell is wrong with you? What were you thinking?
What did I say?
What? You accused Joseph of being a Satanist. Joseph! Kindness personified.
It's the truth, damn it.
You're lying.
I might not be able to convince you that the Earth does not speak to that Bible thumper, but believe me when I tell you that this guy is lying even about his background.
I don't want to hear any more. Do you know what they're gonna do with me now, Alan? I'm gonna be disciplined.
Oh my God, what are you, 2 years old?
I'll be demoted. Do you know what that means?
Look, James, you're a good guy who's been taken for a ride with all these Mother Earth fantasies. Do yourself a favor and get out of this damn cult. You don't need them. You're rich and have an established career.
Career after this? Go fuck yourself, Alan.
Calm down, would you?
Go fuck yourself. Okay, thank you. Mr. Goldberg?
Yeah?
I have a message for you. Inside the Luxury Theatre, half an hour.
Who's the message from?
I don't know, Mr. Goldberg. It's coming from there. I can't say no more.
Well, thanks, I guess.
Okay. I wonder if the other guy, was it Kinnaman? Brian was the other one, wasn't it? Let's go talk to him. Luxury Theatre. I don't know if that list will eventually scroll down, or whether we're sort of nearing the sort of total number of locations, but it's Doesn't look like there's going to be that much more available. Loving Harry, 1 week in Greece. The Luxury has a double feature today. I've just read the titles.
1 week in... Oh, I get it.
Okay. The arrival of VHS dealt a devastating blow to X-rated theatres, to the dismay of exhibitors and the delight of all who are now able to give in to their basest passions in the comfort of their own homes. There are very few left in LA today. The Luxury is one of them. Alright, let's go in.
Wouldn't it be great if everything were free? Buy a ticket if you want to enter the movie theatre.
Ah, okay.
Hello. 1 ticket, please.
$2.50.
Here you go.
Thank you. Alright, guess we go in. There he is, I see him in that sort of second row down. Good, you're now inside the Luxury, but there are a lot of people here. Who could have summoned you? This dude. Goldberg, I'm glad you came.
What the hell happened in the church?
Please excuse Joseph. He's been taking this persona of his quite seriously for years. He actually believes he grew up on a farm until the late 1960s when Mother Earth spoke to him. He has forgotten everything that happened in the House of the Black Light. Or so he would have people believe.
You went ballistic.
He has worked too hard on his Messiah complex for a stranger to come along and take his story apart. Forget about him.
Yeah, nice place to meet up.
After what happened to the church, I don't want to risk anyone seeing me with you. We know what the church thinks about homosexuality, right? So what better place than this to be able to talk at ease? No one would believe that one of the founders of the church has been seen in a gay porn theatre. What the hell, I wanted to watch something interesting while I waited for you.
You knew Keller, didn't you?
Of course. Keller, the House of the Black Light, yes. We were there. How did you find out?
Perhaps it is true that I am a seeker.
So, Edward Keller, what is your interest in him, Goldberg?
I'm looking for his lost film.
Yes, well, I can tell you about it. Edward, Joseph, and I met in the mid-60s. We bonded over our fascination with demonology and Satanism. At the time, Los Angeles was a counterculture hive. Anything that departed from the norm was welcome. And Satanism fascinated all of us young people in the counterculture. We heard of the existence of a 14th century book written by a European aristocrat who had an interest in alchemy. A treatise on primordial fear was one of his best-known works.
What's the book about?
No one knows, but it's rumored that it was written in human blood, and that it could have an influence on whoever read it. For power-hungry men like Joseph and Edward, that was a godsend. Since we didn't even have a place to drop dead, we founded the House of the Black Light with the intention of having a place to live in, and from where we could conduct our search for the book. But it got out of hand. As more new members arrived, we abandoned our research and turned to drugs and free sex. Those were good times, I must admit. Or they would have been if it wasn't for Edward.
What happened with Edward?
He was a psychopath. He enjoyed using fear to control people. His own wife and daughter feared him. He reveled in it. He began to impose punishments on members who didn't follow certain rules. I objected to it, but Joseph seemed delighted with the idea.
What kind of punishments?
Branding people with a hot iron, pulling out their fingernails, leaving them locked up for 3 days in the water tank. Barbaric shit, Goldberg. I still feel guilty that I didn't put an end to it. People accepted it without complaint. Joseph took good care of brainwashing them. Once I asked Edward why he was doing all those things. I could read between the lines that he had had a horrific childhood. He knew what it was like to live in constant fear, and he wanted everyone to experience the same thing. It didn't make sense to me, but as I said, Edward was a psychopath. Anyway, we had already forgotten the purpose of the House of the Black Light. Edward had some success with his movie Bloody Mind Games. Joseph enjoyed being the leader, and I just hung around. Edward got us all together one night. I don't know how, but he had managed to get that damn book. We sat in the circle, and he began to read some passages. The words were jumbled, and the whole text was gibberish. But as he read on, we felt fear. No, way more than that. Have you ever had a bad LSD trip, Goldberg?
No.
Multiply that by 10. We felt like we were someplace else and that we were all going to die. It's hard to explain, but we were taken to... I don't know. It looked like hell in there. People began to cry out in despair while Edward kept reciting the texts as if in a trance. I had to put an end to it, so I snatched the book out of his hands. Everything vanished at once, and what I saw took my breath away. Paul died of a heart attack. His hair turned white. Mia Washington had been abused as a child by her father. She had ripped her eyes out as she screamed that her father had appeared there with the intention of abusing her again. It was real, Goldberg.
It's hard to believe.
I'm not asking you to, but why did we all see the same thing?
Collective hysteria?
Far too easy. That's what you say when you can't explain a shared phenomenon.
What happened next?
Well, after that, we decided to put an end to the House of the Black Light. We would have done it anyway. Some days earlier, the Manson thing had happened, so the days of Satanism were numbered. We'd been thinking about founding something like the Church of Mother Earth for some time, so Joseph and I decided to go ahead with the idea. Edward told us that he knew how to replicate the treatise on primordial fear. He'd found a way to do it. He found the key in the memoirs of a cursed painter who would try to emulate the effects of the book using a picture painted with blood. He asked us to work with him in a small town in Sacramento. Oh, what was it called? It was in Sacramento. I think it was called Serena. Yes, that's it, Serena. But we didn't want to know anything about it and cut ties with him.
So, Serena, is that where Keller might be?
I don't know if he's still there. Hell, I don't even know if the bastard is still alive. But that's the last location I can place him in. By the way, the last thing he said before he left was that the world would experience the greatest fear ever conceived. I think that book completely changed him.
I think I have no choice but to visit that town.
Will you update me on your findings when you return? I've never believed in the supernatural, and for many years I've been peddling a lie with the Church of Mother Earth. I know that what I saw that night was real. I need to know if that son of a bitch managed to create something like a treatise on primordial fear.
I just want to find that movie. I'm not interested in tales of black magic.
Be careful, Goldberg. Maybe your visit to Serena will make you rethink some things.
Oh, I doubt that. I have to go, Kinnaman. Thanks for the information.
A word of advice, Goldberg. Watch out for Keller if he is still alive. This dude again. I can't remember the voice I gave him.
Enjoying the seventh art, Goldberg. You again.
This time I came with my boss. He did not take your refusal very well.
Breaks my heart.
Get in the car, please. My boss is waiting inside for you.
Look, pal, I don't want anything to do with your boss. I think I've made that clear.
You just have to listen to what he has to tell you. I promise you won't regret wasting a mere 10 minutes of your time. I insist.
And then I'll get rid of you?
Probably.
No, that's a tempting offer I can't refuse.
Would you like me to open the door for you?
Nah, not necessary. Can't miss it.
Who is this guy? Mr. Goldberg. It's a pleasure to meet you. Tom, let's go for a ride with Mr. Goldberg. Do you know who I am, Mr. Goldberg?
David Ross. You usually make it to the top of the Forbes list every year.
I'd rather be on People magazine's hottest list, but I don't think they cover my age range. First of all, forgive me for jumping you like this. I'm not used to someone turning down a business proposal. But I don't blame you. Tom may not have explained himself too well.
What do you want?
You've probably worn clothes I've manufactured, eaten food that comes out of my factories, or stayed in a hotel I own. They're very lucrative, yet boring businesses. What I really live for is my love of cinema, specifically horror films. And there is no greater pleasure than to hold in your hands a lost film that no one has seen. My biggest problem is that unlike Helen, I have no luck with my seekers. I have to admit that she has a better eye for that. What have you found out about Edward Keller's lost film?
How did you know?
News travels fast among collectors. How about $1 million for sharing your information with me? 2, if I consider it excellent.
2?
$2 million, yes. Right here, right now, I can write you a check. I don't know what Helen has promised you, but keep in mind that she won't give it to you if you don't get the film. I, on the other hand, offer you a considerable sum for what you know so far. Tell me, what do you think of my offer?
Well, it sounds tempting, but Helen Westmore has offered me so much more.
Now forget about Helen. That film has been missing for more than 2 decades. Do you think you're going to find it on your own?
Well, put yourself in my shoes. I have to give it a try.
What the hell is wrong with you? Does Ruskin pay that well? When you realize you've hit a dead end looking for Keller's film, you'll come back to me begging for my money. And I may have the same information as you do by then, you miserable bastard.
Look, Mr. Ross, I didn't get up this morning to be insulted by someone like you. Can I get out of the car?
Tom, take Mr. Goldberg home.
How do you know where I live?
Right away, sir. I know everything. Seems like a nice guy.
$2 million?
You keep going over Ross's words in your head. Could he be right? Is Serena just a dead end?
$2 million.
It's not just money you want, though, is it?
I don't even know what I'm looking for.
I mean, is there anything more to do here? Or do we just go to Serena? I don't know. What if we look at our typewriter again? Doesn't say anything different. What happens if we just go? After dropping off all the items you no longer need, you walk through the door, hoping to find Edward Keller's film in Serena. As a fellow traveller, you get the giddy feeling of coming back empty-handed after turning down $2 million. Alright, so... Hey you, the one in the back! Wake up!
Me?
Who else? There's no one left in the bus. End of the line.
In the middle of nowhere?
I already warned you that I was not going to enter Serena. This is as close as I get.
At the bus station, they told me that...
The bus station keeps ignoring our complaints. We're sick and tired of telling them to stop selling tickets to Serena. What the hell? They should get rid of the stop. No one travels to Serena. Except for you. I don't know what business you have there, but if you want to come back with me to Sacramento, now's the time.
No, that's not possible.
Well, in that case... Your stop, sir.
But...
Your stop, sir.
You're gonna leave me in the middle of nowhere during a storm?
Serena is half a mile from here.
What's your problem with Serena? Why don't you want to go there?
Things happen there.
What kind of stuff?
The driver goes silent, and you can tell by the look on his face that he's not going to say anything else.
Shit.
Alright, well, I guess we go to Serena, huh?
Shit. Shit.
Ooh. After a long struggle against the elements, you arrive at Serena, soaking wet and shivering. Your plan is to find a hostel to shelter you from the rain, but the whole town seems to be abandoned. Yeah, it does look that way. Crappy old car, crappy old store, nothing interactable. Freeze!
What?
Not a single step further or I'll blow your brains out. And hands where I can see them.
Oh shit.
Game over. Is this a police station? Neither the constant sound of rain on the roof nor the annoying musty smell have prevented you from sleeping relatively well. Although nothing made you think the day before that you'd end up in the cell of a police station in a godforsaken town. So I don't have anything except my wallet at this point. What's going on in the mirror? Spending your days cooped up struggling with the script for Lunatic 2, wandering from one end of Hollywood to the other, and the rough night you've been through are starting to take its toll on you. Astounding FX would be happy to use you as a model for one of their creatures. All that remains of the mirror is a couple of shards of glass. Some prisoner probably broke it with the intention of using it as a weapon against the chief or himself. I can't take one of those, I take it. Can't be used. Faucet's been ripped off the sink. Inside the sink is a mixture of mould, rust, and other unknown forms of lichen. What about the door? Yeah, it's open. What? The door was open. Without hesitation, you decide to leave the cell. Yeah. You slam the cell door with the intention of never setting foot in one ever again. Look at the stove. You've been accompanied all night by the sound of a drop falling on the metal stove, as if it were the second hand of a wind-up clock. A layer of rust coats the metal stove, and the little door probably won't budge because of it. In any case, you don't need to open it. It's in the basket. Dozens of pieces of clothing are piled up in the basket, absorbing moisture and mildew. Ew. The clothes in the basket are floating in a mixture of mould and water. You don't want to stick your hand in there. Everything on the shelves has been ruined by moisture or rust. It's all useless. What's this? You can use the press if you need to force something open, but it's missing the handle that turns the screw. What is it? A simple tool used to secure components in place in order to work on them. Be careful when applying force on the lever, you could break something. Okay. An old washing machine covered in rust and mould that has seen better days rests in the corner. Won't open. It doesn't matter much anyway since the washer stopped working in '79. How does he know that? Goldberg! The cell door was unlocked and, I unlocked it. I called all the places you told me. Ruskin Productions, Joe's Diner, Astounding Effects. Your alibi's pretty solid. As far as I'm concerned, you weren't in Serena during the last few days. I already said so in my statement. I've never been here before. Yeah, of course. I've no doubts about that. As far as the law's concerned, you're a free man. Sorry for giving you a hard time. What's done is done. Oh, and by the way, I've been speaking with Eliza. Wait till the folks at Wade Creek hear about this. Great gal, isn't she? Very nice. By the way, I'm Police Chief Bowman, but you can call me Rick. Can I drop the formalities and call you Alan? Yeah, sure. Okay, Alan, how can I help you? Do you have any coffee? I need some. Yeah, of course, it's right next to the door. Help yourself. It's from yesterday, but I warmed it up in the radiator. Works for me. There are not a lot of luxuries in this police station. I try to spruce it up every time I come here a bit. As I was saying, sorry for the misunderstanding last night. But you gotta understand, 3 days ago a little girl went missing. Sarah Jordan, 14 years old. Doesn't seem likely that she ran away. The girl is a little, slow. She has special needs, if you know what I mean. We swept the town and the surrounding area. The fact that you, a complete stranger, showed up in town in the middle of the night made you a suspect. Yeah, makes sense. No hard feelings. You were just doing your job. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. So, Alan, you mentioned a guy named, Keller? That's what brought you to the town? Do you know Edward Keller? No, last night was the first time I heard of him. You mentioned that he probably ended up in Serena. That's right, a reporter interviewed him in the early 1970s. That was a long time ago. He could be somewhere else. Probably, but it's the only lead I have on him. I can ask some questions around town, about Keller or about that reporter. Someone should remember. Oh, that would be nice of you. Especially after I made you sleep in that dump back there. Yeah, the cells are a mess. I had to say it. Only the cells? The whole police station? What the hell, the whole town? Serena lost its municipality status in 1980. Now everything is managed from Wade Creek. I'm the chief of police there. I come here once a month to check that everything's okay. Except in the case of an emergency, of course. Like what happened to poor Sarah Jordan. And when I have a day off, I sometimes drop by to clean up a bit. The guy who brought me didn't want to come into Serena. Serena does not have much of a reputation around these parts, and it's not like his people are very welcoming either. It's not that, he looks scared. Yeah, well, nothing but misfortune has happened here since the town was founded. One of the worst tragedies to ever strike the town was the fire at the Clark Morgan High School. All the students perished in it. Oh, that's horrible. On top of that, the locals believe they see, things. Although I'm not surprised that after all these folks have been through, they're a bit, off their rocker. I think it's also because of the water. The river has been polluted for decades. They don't seem to care. Where can I find the former chief of police? He might know something about Keller. Marvin Floyd? Oh, he died 4 years ago. He left his position in the mid-70s.
Poor Floyd spent his last years in a wheelchair. Last year, the Wade Creek City Council realized that Serena hasn't had a police chief for over a decade. And, well, here I am. What kind of things do the people in Serena think they see? I don't know, visions or something like that? It's like they're on a permanent bad trip, you know? If you talk to them, they'll try to convince you that they see ghosts. Don't play along. Are you done with the coffee? Yeah. Come closer, I need to ask you a favor. The search for Sarah Jordan concluded yesterday. There's no trace of her. I've managed to convince 2 guys from the town, Mike Reeves and Fred Munson, to do a new sweep. They don't want poor Sarah to meet the same fate as Mary Elizabeth Hellman, a girl who disappeared 10 years ago. Well, to the point. Half an hour ago, Gordon Daggett, a guy who lives on the outskirts of town, called and said his dog had been killed. I have to take care of that, but Sarah Jordan is my priority. Could you go over to Daggett's house and see what that's all about? I'm not a cop, but I can make you deputy. What do you say? You just have to go there, listen to what he has to say, and take note of everything. Take a look at the corpse, too. That's all. Yeah, simple, huh? When the sweep's over, I'll talk to some of the locals and see if they know anything about Keller. All right, I'll do it. Great. By the power vested in me by the lore... Yeah, just kidding. There's a map on the info panel. I've marked Gordon Daggett's house for you. Well, gotta go. Boys are waiting for me. By the way, grab that jacket there on the hanger. It was Chief Floyd's. Come in handy. The weather's nasty out there. Damned rain.
Ooh, alright, that's interesting. So, we should have a look around, shouldn't we? There's some broken wires there. What we got over here? Look at the phone. Due to the fact that Serena's telephone service has not been updated since the 1930s, the town still maintains Margaret Swanson, aged 84, as its operator.
This is Margaret speaking to you from Serena. Who would you like to talk to, Chief?
I'm not the chief.
You are speaking from the Chief's office.
Yeah, but I'm not the chief.
All right. Who would you like to talk to?
No, that's fine. But it's good that we can speak to other people that might be able to help us with stuff. What's on the bulletin board? Oh, you have a map of Serena and the surrounding area. Maybe that comes up when you leave a location and you choose the next one. Most wanted posters, emergency phone numbers, and the occasional memo, all dating back to the last decade. Those folks are probably behind bars and the phones are no longer operational. The filing cabinet holds 2 decades of police reports. You set out to search the drawers one by one in case there's any reference to Keller's name among the reports.
Oh, this'll take a while.
Alright.
Nothing. Wasted my time.
Okay. Water cooler. A green slimy liquid floats inside the drum.
You don't mean to drink that, do you?
Marvin Floyd, Serena's former police chief, spent the last year of his life trying to solve the disappearance of Mary Elizabeth Hellman. He did not succeed. Nowadays everyone believes her to be dead. That's her, missing. Mary Elizabeth Hellman, 13 years old, 5'8", tall, 5'8" tall, brown eyes, black hair, red sweater, grey skirt. Last seen November 17th, 1975, so exactly 10 years ago, pretty much, isn't it? Phone numbers, blah, blah, blah. The pictures show the police station's exterior in 3 different periods, 1890, 1925, and 1968. You don't need the pictures. Several police reports on the verge of falling apart due to the humidity rest inside a mould-covered box. Could it be that Keller's name was mentioned in one of them? Maybe. You look through the papers. Keller's name does not appear in any of them. We've got a coffee maker. Alright, let's take the coat. Jacket that belonged to Chief Floyd is on the hanger. Take it. You take Chief Floyd's jacket as recommended by Rick Bowman. It has a double lining and is made of leather, which will keep out the rain. Sweet. Does it have anything in the pockets? No. Alright, well, head out, I guess. It's like the same missing person poster we just saw. Exit. What's this way? Morgue. Closed. Okay. Alright. I'm expecting that when we go to the exit we'll get the map. I guess we should probably go to Daggett's farm? Kind of what he wanted us to do, isn't it? Ooh. Spooky music. It's gone a bit Silent Hill, I guess? Something like that? I'm not sure. It's probably referencing some kind of old horror anyway. Gordon Daggett struggles with back pain and has difficulty wielding an axe to cut firewood, although you would certainly have no problem using it to threaten anyone who dared to snoop in his woodshed. Okay. Dog bowl. Milo's diet consisted of chunks of stale bread and the occasional bone from the animals Gordon Daggett butchered. Oh, poor dog. I have a piece of wet bread, though, so yum. Despite his affection for his pet, Gordon Daggett forbade him from entering the cabin. There's nothing inside except traces of hair and the occasional chicken bone. Axe. Gordon Daggett is stronger than he looks. Would not be pleased if you took his axe. Okay, we won't do that then. And the pelts. Several pelts hang from the porch. You find it difficult to identify which animals they belong to. The fate of these animals upsets you so much that you would not wear one even under the threat of severe hypothermia. Well, if it came to that, yes, maybe you would. What's this? Looks like a deer, maybe? The carcass of a poor fawn hangs on the wall while the flies hover over it. The corpse radiates a terrible smell. You don't know how long it's been there, but probably too long in any case. Alright, let's go in. You hear a gun being cocked on the other side of the door.
Shit!
Damn.
Take that, you motherfucking witch!
What the fuck are you doing?
You don't sound like a witch.
That's because I'm not a witch.
Who are you?
I'm Alan Goldberg. I'm Bowman's deputy.
Bowman has no deputy.
He does now, goddammit.
All right. Get off the porch and stand in front of the house. I'm coming out. If this is a trick, I'll blow your head off, you goddamn witch. You look like a man and dressed like the deputy chief of police. Prove to me that you're not fucking with me, witch.
You know what? I only came here to help, and I will not tolerate having a shotgun pointed at my face. I'm leaving.
Wait. Did Chief Bowman really send you?
Yes, damn it. Put that damn gun down.
Okay, it's nothing personal. I just had to be sure.
Oh, let's get this over with. Bowman told me that...
Bowman, huh? Why isn't he come in person? You can tell he's not one of us.
He's looking for that girl, Sarah.
Sarah Jordan. That last remaining young person in Serena. God sure knows how to punish us. The chief should stop looking for her. She'll never show up. Like Mary Elizabeth Hellman. Anyway, come with me.
Aww.
Good God, what's that smell?
The river, you'll get used to it. All the Wade Creek factories used to dump their waste here years ago. They used Serena as a sewer.
Do the townsfolk drink this water?
Do we have a choice? Focus on what you came here for. There's Milo. She came out of those bushes on the other side and made her way through the rocks. Then she attacked Milo and began to eat him.
Who?
The witch, goddammit! She was crawling on her belly like she was a snake. She only used her arms to move.
Maybe your imagination was playing tricks on you. Maybe what you saw was...
It was a witch. I saw her just like I'm seeing you.
All right, calm down. I'll take a look at your dog's corpse and report back to Chief Bowman.
Do what you have to do. I'm leaving. I don't want to be here in case that witch shows up again.
Before you go, may I ask you something?
Spit it out.
Does the name Edward Keller sound familiar?
Oh, the Hollywood guy.
Yeah, exactly.
What about him?
Is he still in town?
I don't think so. He hasn't been seen for years.
Did you get to know him?
Nah, he didn't talk to no one. Except that journalist who lived here at the time. I don't remember his name. Maybe Robert Saxon remembers. Ask him. He used to be friends with that guy.
Where can I find him?
Now? Well, the bridge is usually over there at this time. His wife hanged herself from it. He goes there every day.
Cheerful.
When you're done, let me know. I'll take Milo out of here and bury him. Tell Bowman to arm all the men in town. We must hunt down that infernal creature.
Yikes. Have a look at the poor little dog then. Milo, Gordon Daggett's dog, lies on the ground, victim of a horrific attack.
Oh,
little doggy. Stone there. What strikes you the most about the whole scene is the stone. It appears to have been used violently to bash his skull in. Oh, puppy. Okay, so I was trying right click and left click on the stone. It came up with the same text. Look at his muzzle. The muzzle is completely dislocated, as if the upper and lower jaw had been forced violently in opposite directions. His nails. There is blood on his nails, which indicates that Milo tried to get away from his attacker. The dog's belly's been cut open. You don't know much about canine anatomy, but you swear some organs are missing. Is that it? Is that everything? Just try and right-click on stuff as well in case there's more info. It's just exit, I think, isn't it? Okay. You finished examining the scene. Let Gordon Daggett know that he can now remove the dog from here. The river should be declared a disaster zone. Before the state's water quality law was passed, Wade Creek dumped tons of chemical waste into the river, giving it the stench it has even to this day. Wade Creek has 2 railroads. This one that you see is used primarily to supply material to its factories. Lots of freight trains pass through here every day. If you wait, you may see one go by. I think we already did. I think that's probably it for here.
I finished examining Milo.
Thank you. I'll prepare the stuff to bury him.
Yeah, well, I guess that's it for here. Go and check out the bridge, I guess? You seem to have lost your way trying to find a shortcut to the bridge. Oh. Lost am I now? Okay. It's over here.
Good Lord.
Okay. The scorched body is missing its lower limbs. Perhaps they are among the smoking pieces that are scattered around. Going by their size and build, you deduce that their remains belong to a teenager. Maybe they belong to the missing girl that Bowman's looking for. What's this way?
Hey, freeze! Who are you? And why are you wearing Chief Floyd's jacket?
Take it easy, boys. He's with me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's my new deputy. I need to talk to him. I know there's been no luck, but thank you very much for your help. We'll keep in touch. What are you doing here? You lost?
I think I found the girl. Her corpse.
What? Where?
Here, come.
What? Where is it, Alan?
It was here.
That log?
I swear. Never mind.
You haven't been here for 24 hours and you're already seeing visions like the locals.
I don't know, Rick. I thought that...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We couldn't find the girl. Either the earth has swallowed her up or most likely someone has snatched her. I'll issue a search warrant beyond Serena. I hope I'm wrong and she shows up somewhere, preferably alive. Have you talked to Daggett?
Yeah.
And?
He said a witch appeared in the river and ate his dog.
A witch, huh?
Fuck.
Girl is missing and this idiot wants me to deal with a witch feasting on his pooch?
Well, obviously the part about the witch is hogwash. But there was a bloody stone next to the dog. I very much doubt that the dog hit his head on it and died. I think that someone used it to crush his skull.
You know what I think? I think Daggett was the one who killed the mutt.
Why would he kill his own dog?
If I knew what happened inside these people's heads, I'd become a shrink and make a fortune here. I don't know, Alan. Maybe the pooch was old and no longer useful to Daggett as a hunting dog. Maybe he was fed up with him, smashed his head in, and then felt remorse for what he did. To avoid admitting it, he makes up that witch story and comes busting my balls to get some extra attention. Case closed.
Yeah, whatever you say, you're the expert.
Let's move on to something more important. I've been talking to Mike and Fred about your stuff, the Keller thing. They've no idea, but Fred said that Father Adamson had some relationship with him. You could go and ask him. He has a lot of free time. No one in town goes to church.
Not even Jesus drops by. Get it? By the way, where were you headed? To the bridge. Oh, be careful in those woods. You wouldn't be the first one to get lost. We'd better get back to town. I'll show you a shorter way to the bridge.
Church, police station, bridge. Well, let's try going back to the bridge, I guess. What's down there? Looks like... It says rocks, but it looks kind of like a dog's face. There's a small teddy bear trapped among the rocks. Okay. Can't reach it. Probably influenced by the use of this animal as an ill omen in literature. Crows have always struck you as ominous creatures. No intention of disturbing the crow, although it wouldn't hurt if it stopped cawing so frequently. People of Serena keep complaining about how the factories in Wade Creek used to dump all their waste in the river. The fact that they themselves use the river as landfill is another story. Let's talk to this guy, I suppose. Look at the flowers first. Every week, Robert Saxon religiously changes what used to be his wife's favourite flowers. Respect Saxon's grief, Alan. Okay, yeah. What about looking at him? Robert Saxon stares at the horizon, losing himself in his memories.
Robert Saxon?
Yes?
Gordon Daggett told me I'd find you here.
What do you need?
Did you know a variety reporter who was in Serena some years ago?
Sure, Bill Eastman. He was a friend of mine. Not many people from Los Angeles used to come to Serena. You're from Los Angeles too, right?
How did you know that I'm from L.A.?
Well, you talk, I guess.
Did he ever mention Edward Keller's name to you?
Yes, of course. That was the reason he ended up here. It had been a few months since Keller had moved into Serena when Bill arrived with the intention of interviewing him. Keller turned him down several times until he finally budged.
Do you know where I can find him?
Well, he married Florence, a local girl, and they moved to Wade Creek. He didn't want to go back to Los Angeles, let alone stay in Serena, although they didn't intend to go too far away either. Florence had a sister here. I haven't seen them since they left. They haven't shown up around town either, so I can't tell you exactly where he lives. By the way, what do you want with Bill?
I'm looking for Keller. I think your friend might be able to give me some clue about where I can find him.
Keller? Sinister fellow. He used to be seen walking around town, but we never knew where he lived. Do you think Bill might know?
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
Let's see, Bill used to write for the Serena Gazette, the closest thing to a newspaper we've ever had. I know that sometime later the publication was still receiving articles from him. His address might be in the Gazette's archives, if you can get to them.
What do you mean?
Well, the Serena Gazette was edited in a basement below Stephen Talbot's repair shop. Many years ago, Fred Gunton, the tenant, got fed up with Talbot not paying the rent, so he threatened to kick him out. Talbot's answer was to take a bulldozer and tear down the repair shop. Yeah, Serena for you. Sanity is a rare trait around these parts. The Gazette's still there under the debris. If you can get to it, you might be able to find Bill's address.
Can you tell me something about Keller?
Well, what little I know is what Bill told me. Apparently he came here to shoot a movie, but we never saw any cameras or equipment.
What happened to Keller?
I have no idea. One day he was no longer here. He disappeared just as suddenly as he'd arrived.
Daggett said you come here every day.
Yep. My wife, she hanged herself from this bridge.
I'm sorry.
She couldn't bear the death of our daughter Nancy.
May I ask how your daughter died? Forget it. Pardon my impertinence.
Don't worry. It's a pleasure to talk to someone from out of town, even if it is about this. People around here are not very prone to conversation. They're quite special.
You're not from here?
Nope. San Francisco. We wanted to change of scenery and to live in a small town surrounded by nature. We made the worst choice of our lives by moving to this damn town. My daughter Nancy died in the high school fire.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Serena's history is written in blood. There has always been misfortunes here. What happened to the high school? They had a small basketball team. It wasn't even federated. They brought in all the youth every Friday. When the fire started, most of the town was there. Parents, young people, children.
Nancy, how did the fire happen? Were there any survivors?
A gas leak, they said. The fire dilated the door of the gym and no one was able to open it. 80 people burned to death. There were no survivors.
Oh, real tragedy. I'm so sorry about your daughter.
Kate suffered from severe depression. I couldn't do anything for her, and the only way out she saw was to...
It's all right. I understand.
I come here every day to mourn her death. I have no tears left, but I have nothing else to do in this damn town.
I have to go.
Take care.
Alright, let's leave him to it. So we got the newspaper. We also have the church. Let's check out the newspaper first. So there's some debris here. Several objects protrude from the debris. Rummage through for anything useful. There's nothing useful except for an old gas can that still seems to have some fuel left. Well, we'll take that. Let me just go inside, I guess.
Oh no, shit.
Woo! Well, at least we found a way in.
Shit!
Getting up from the ground so quickly takes its toll. You feel a sudden dizziness and notice a tremendous pain caused by concussion from falling down the shaft.
Oh, I hope this damn film is worth it, Helen.
Okay, you know what? And I think we'll leave it there for today, having crash landed in this basement. We'll have there's probably quite a lot of stuff to look around at in here, so we'll do that next time. But I'll just say thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Nightmare Frames. If you have, if you could hit that thumbs up button, that's always appreciated, as would be leaving me a comment. Let me know what you think about the game so far, the story. I'm interested that An English Haunting kind of had this as well, where sort of at the midpoint of the game you move to sort of a new location and have a bunch of new stuff to do. So it was interesting to see that this follows that kind of same pattern, because looking at, I think as I said earlier in this episode, looking down the list of taxi destinations, it seemed like we were sort of running out of places to go. So I was thinking, are we nearing the end of the game? But actually we've gone to this completely new area with a whole bunch of new stuff to find, so that's cool. But yeah, let me know your thoughts anyway, I'm interested to hear them. And if you're watching this and not yet subscribed to the channel, would be amazing if you could do that as well. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.